About 62% of sub-Saharan Africa's urban population lives in slums. That's almost 800 million people, the highest in the entire world. In comparison, its neighbor North Africa has just 13% of its population living in slums. So, what exactly happened to sub-Saharan Africa, and why do so many of its residents live in such poor conditions? Over the last 50 years, these informal settlements have sadly become a very prominent feature of the urban landscape of sub-Saharan Africa. Cities such as Cape Town in South Africa, Lagos, Nigeria, and Nairobi, Kenya, are home to some of the world's largest slums. By definition, the United Nations Settlements Program defines slums as an urban area with lack of basic services such as sanitation, potable water, and electricity. Additionally, the housing in these areas is considered to be way below living standards, often being very overcrowded, unhealthy, and dangerous, as they are usually located in high crime and poverty areas, leading to security concerns and social exclusion. To put it simply, it doesn't get any worse than this. But for some reason, many Africans still opt for this choice in search of opportunities and better living standards which are attainable in the largest cities. Regardless of how dire and dangerous the conditions can be, people still take the risk. Due to this, slums in Africa only keep getting bigger and bigger, and therefore have become an essential backbone to the economy. Don't get me wrong, this is not a secret at all, and has for a long time been an issue for African cities. Because of this, our team at PIHOA couldn't help but ask, what are the 10 largest slums in Africa and where are they? Well, we went and done a bit of research into this, and this is what we found out. At number 10, we have Agbogboloshi, Ghana. Located near the center of Accra, Ghana's capital city in the Greater Accra region, Agbogboloshi is the nickname of the commercial district Korle Lagoon. This densely populated area is home to over 80,000 people with no access to sanitation and clean water. The living conditions in this slum are so bad, facing high levels of crime to the point that many people often refer to it as Sodom and Gomorrah. Home to the famous Agbogboloshi dump site, which was once one of the world's largest digital dumping grounds, many of its residents earned a living there up until 2021 when the government decided to bulldoze the site due to concerns around health and pollution. As a result, this left many of its residents furious and stranded, making things worse than they ever could have imagined. Next up, at number 9, we have Mukuru kwa Njenga. This is one of the largest, poorest slums in the capital of Nairobi, Kenya, with over 100,000 people living in it. Just like many other slums in the world, Mukuru faces different challenges including crime, drug abuse, prostitution, and many more. Despite this, the people of Mukuru have been able to continuously fight these challenges, enabling many improvements through the community with little aid from the government. Big shout out to all the people in this community who work tirelessly to improve their living conditions. This is just one of the many examples of how slums can organize themselves and make the most of the little they have. At number 8, we have Alexandria, South Africa. Covering an area of 800 hectares, this place was established back in 1912 as a township close to the center of Johannesburg. Originally, its infrastructure was designed for a population of about 70,000 people. However, today, it is estimated to house over 200,000 people. That's more than double of what it's actually meant to take. I mean, to say that this place is overcrowded is an understatement. You see, when this area was initially established as a township during apartheid, houses were of decent quality and even had backyards for the residents to enjoy. But as the years went by and the city continued to expand due to urbanization, more and more people kept moving into Johannesburg seeking employment opportunities, and therefore governments simply couldn't keep up with the rapid expansion. Due to this, there was a huge lack of affordable housing for people to move into. And as you know, where there's a growing demand, there's always going to be a supply because people will find a way to make it work one way or another. This posed a massive economic opportunity for the local residents who took advantage of this to make extra income by constructing rooms in their backyards and renting them out. And therefore, as a result of this unplanned and uncontrolled developments, this area experienced a population influx, resulting to a strain in the infrastructure and services which over time has seen its decay. Today, there's an estimated 20,000 shacks, of which approximately 7,000 are located in backyards. Well, I guess that's one way to solve the housing crisis. I mean, who are we to judge? Next up, at number 7, we have probably the most interesting slum to ever exist. Makoko, the largest slum in Lagos, Nigeria, is famous for its wooden shacks built on slates in a thickly populated lagoon. Just picture this, a slum with over 300,000 residents, all living on top of water. This has to probably be one of the world's worst places to live, but props to the residents who demonstrate an incredible level of innovation and creative thinking through their ability to literally form a floating city of their own, where they work, travel, and even go to school. If you ask me, this is nothing short of impressive because these people are simply building and maintaining this from their own ideas, no architects, planners, engineers, or even governments and big budgets to support it. Just their local chiefs called bales and the communities who plan and manage it all. With minimal education, people are still thriving, skills are being developed, and life keeps moving on. But of course, just like any other slum, this one is no different. Facing many hardships, the water doesn't make it any better as it forms a breeding spot for mosquitoes which cause malaria and many other diseases. At number 6, we have Kazenga in Angola. This is the most densely populated municipality in the province of Luanda. With a population of over 1 million people, 400,000 of them live in slums. The formation of this slum is largely accounted to the Angolan civil war that went on for 27 years and ended in 2002, resulting to mass poverty which the country has since been recovering from. The slum area has very poor infrastructure such as roads, electricity, and water, making people vulnerable to insecurity and diseases such as cholera. Due to this, the Angolan government set up a regeneration plan in an attempt to replace the slums with adequate apartment blocks. So far, this initiative has been making good progress but still remains far from complete. More importantly, it's great to see that our government is actually taking charge to solve the slum issue and improve people's living conditions. In this case, it's only right because Angola rakes in a high amount of money from the oil industry, so the country clearly has the resources needed to fund these investments. And let me just stop you right there because before we continue to the remaining top 5 largest slums in Africa, I just want to say thank you for getting this far into the video. We are happy that you're enjoying it and are passionate about staying informed on Africa's post-independence era. Do me a favor, subscribe to our channel and click the like button if you haven't already. That said, let's get on with the remaining top 5 slums. Coming in at number 5, we have Khayelitsha, one of many South African slums with an estimated population of over 400,000 people. Just like Alexandra, this partially informal township located in Cape Town started off in a similar way and today has grown to become one of the fastest growing townships in the country. To tackle this uncontrolled and unplanned growth, the government of South Africa has brought about many developments in the area such as the construction of brick housing, schools, and creating a central business district to strengthen the local economy and reduce unemployment rates, which in return would make the area safer and more livable. However, this has proven to be almost impossible due to the deep-lying issues which took years to form and just can't disappear overnight. Once again, we see efforts of governments trying to make things right, which is a positive thing indeed. However, they still remain unsuccessful. Make sure you stay tuned in the upcoming episodes as we explore exactly why this might be the case. At number 4, we have Shomolu, or sometimes referred to as Somolu, a town in Lagos State, Nigeria with a population of over 400,000 people. Aside from the typical challenges faced in slums, here, many of its residents live below the poverty line and often engage in activities like printing and making leather handicrafts, demonstrating their hard work and creativity to earn a living. Once again, we come across more and more cases of opportunities wasted due to lack of organization and poor planning. These are all activities which could be contributing highly into the nation's economy. However, poor leadership sees them lost from sight. Next up, at number 3, we remain in Nigeria at Ajegunle, its largest slum with over 500,000 residents. This area just screams of neglect to the point that the locals describe it as Jungle City. Notorious for its high crime rates and poverty levels, and combined with its poor living conditions, you can't help but feel sorry for its inhabitants. Standing as one of Nigeria's most oppressive ghettos, it is also known as the place where riches dwells, as it is the birthplace of many famous music and football stars. Success stories like these continue to shine a bright light over its dark and harsh reality, giving hope to the next generation and beyond. For the second largest slum, we are back in Nairobi, Kenya at Mathare, which is a collection of slums with a population of over 500,000 people. Like many slums, this area faces many challenges around health, crime, unemployment, and many more. This is simply the result of poor planning and corruption that has led to the unplanned and uncontrolled establishment of the informal settlements, meaning utilities and services are non-functioning. Though the conditions may not be ideal, the sense of community remains strong. And finally, at the number 1 spot we have Kibera, which is the 3rd slum in this top 10 list that is located in Nairobi, Kenya. Well, it's worth noting that Nairobi actually has the largest slum population in Africa, with over 2.5 million people crammed into just 6% of the city's land. With a population well over 700,000, Kibera is located just 6.6 miles from Nairobi city center and is characterized by high rates of unemployment, crime, and extreme poverty, with residents earning less than $1 a day. Kibera, which also doubles up as the largest slum in Kenya, has few schools, lacks adequate access to clean water, and residents suffer from various diseases caused by poor hygiene and lack of toilets. Due to this, the area was famous in the past for its flying toilets, where people would literally use plastic bags as toilets and throw them out of sight with little care of where it lands. You wouldn't want to be at the end of those flying toilets. And there you have it. A brief overview of the top 10 largest slums in Africa, how they function, the challenges they face, and the endless opportunities that lie within them. If you ask me, I find it quite sad and frustrating that many people have to endure this type of living as their day-to-day reality. And the fact that they remain positive and happy is a true testament of their strong character and spirit. One can only imagine what these people could achieve with adequate living conditions, infrastructure, and the right support. The potential is simply endless, and surely something has to be done about it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it very informative. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss out on upcoming episodes where we explore more on Africa's challenges and solutions that continue to shape its future. At PR Network, we are not only passionate about learning Africa's post-independence history, we are on a mission to build a better and brighter future for Africans. Our aim is to connect the present and the past, uncovering practical and sustainable solutions that will eventually be put into effect.